Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. I'm Dr. Laura Duzette, and I'm the author of the Low Nickel Diet Cookbook and Guide. So this is a cookbook for people with systemic nickel allergy. It is an allergy where you have to eat less than 150 micrograms a day of nickel, which kind of sounds easy, except the problem is that most foods that you get at the store are not going to have a label telling you how much nickel per serving is going to be in that food. And that's one of the big reasons why I wrote this book, because it's very difficult to figure out how to do that. And on top of it, the recipes that I would find when I was first diagnosed were not health promoting. And I was a nutritional therapy practitioner at the time, so I knew a little bit of what I was frustrated by, which is that when it comes to systemic nickel allergy, it's very much about the nickel that gets through your gut lining into your bloodstream, and you want to keep that low. So you want to make sure your absorption of the nickel in the food is also as low as possible. So things like gluten and sugar that were in a lot of those recipes, those things work against you as far as reducing the amount of nickel that is absorbed, right? So I wrote this book to make it as easy as possible for people, including having a bunch of different ingredients that you may have in recipes of your own. And I calculated using the FDA published measurements of nickel amounts, average nickel amounts in foods. And I took those and calculated a normal kind of serving that a person would do, like 1 stalk of celery or a cup of cheese, instead of using these like grams and milligrams that they had in those papers. So I made it so you can kind of figure it out more easily instead of having to like calculate it or use apps to do it that aren't as user-friendly, right? So we have that, and then we also have, for every recipe that's in this book, I've calculated the serving amount of micrograms. So it's easier to make sure that you're under that 150 micrograms. Now, today we're going to go over snacks. So one of this topic was requested by one of you in the first live that we did. What kind of snacks are low nickel and also healthful? So I went to the grocery store this morning and put together a bunch of things that I can show you. But what we could start with is we could start with me telling you about the discount code for today. So Sunday, February 1st, starting right now, you could go on my website, www.thelownickeldiet.com, and put in this code for the hardback version of this cookbook, and you get $12.99 off. And that will be active until tomorrow, so February 2nd at 11:59 p.m. So if you want a big discount, here's your chance. Snacks. All right, so this is, let me zoom a little bit for you. So this is low, moderate, and high nickel foods. This is also available for free as a PDF on my website. And so if you're trying to figure out what kind of meal can I put together or what kind of snacks, just focus on what's in the low categories, like this. Especially at the beginning. So if you're curious if you might have a systemic nickel allergy, just real quick, symptoms that have been connected with systemic nickel allergy in the scientific literature would be, a big one that is very well supported is dyshidrotic eczema, which is an eczema that is, it's very itchy at first. You start seeing little circles underneath your skin, like little pustules, and then they come up to the surface and they'll break, they'll get infected, you'll scab over, and then the cycle will repeat again. You may have like a week where it seems like it's going to heal up, and then it starts again, and it gets worse and worse over time. So it's either on the palms of your hands or the soles of your feet. That is the most common representation of the allergy, and that's because this surface is where the highest amount of certain types of sweat glands are in your whole body. And one of the ways that your body gets rid of nickel is through your sweat. And so it's getting stuck, and a lot of it is coming through this surface. So your immune system, if it's become sensitized to nickel, it's going to react in this area. There are other potential causes for dyshidrotic eczema, but this presentation is very, very strongly correlated with systemic nickel allergy, as well as the bottoms of your feet. So if it's on the top of your hands, it may be more like a contact to chemicals or something like that, maybe fungus. Fungus on this side, it may be a secondary infection actually, so a lot of people think it's fungus, and it can be, but that may be actually a secondary infection from your systemic nickel allergy, causing the bubbles to burst and fungus being able to get in and your immune system not being able to fight it. So that's one of the main ones, well supported by the literature. The second most powerfully supported symptom is IBS. So IBS and GERD. Research has shown that 30 to 40% of people with GERD or IBS actually are systemically allergic to nickel. And if they eat a low nickel diet, their symptoms go away or get a lot better. This is unfortunately not understood yet in the United States. It's very well supported and understood in Europe because that's where most of the research has been done. So there are other things like endometriosis, chronic fatigue syndrome, burning mouth syndrome, that's well supported, as well as interstitial cystitis. There's a little bit of work on that. A lot of, because it creates a systemic immune response, you can get exacerbation or like things made worse that were already there. So it's not caused by the nickel allergy, but it's made worse by the systemic response from being upset about the nickel, because nickel can directly trigger your innate immune response as well as a delayed immune response. So the innate response is like an immediate response, and the delayed response is more of the allergic response, but nickel can directly trigger it by itself without an immune cell intermediary. So that's nickel. So if you think you might have it, what I would do is try to get a appointment with a dermatologist that specializes in contact allergy, not like your run-of-the-mill dermatologist that does a lot of like, a run-of-the-mill dermatologist could know about it and could be very open to it, but there's still plenty of them that don't know about it or don't even believe in it. I've rotated with one of those dermatologists, so I know. A dermatologist who specializes in this co-authored this book with me, and I went to the Contact Dermatology Conference and met a bunch of these people. They know about it, they know about the book, they know Dr. Zyrus very well, and there are still people who don't necessarily believe in a syndromic version of this, but the systemic nickel response should be well understood by at least a contact dermatologist. So if you ask if they do patch testing, then they likely are trained in contact allergy to the right level that they would know about it. You could also try an allergist. I have heard that some allergists know about it in the States. But on my website, thelownickeldiet.com, if you go to articles or resources, I can't remember. Let's find out right now. Okay, if we go to articles, there is a letter, yes, for doctors, reactions to ingested nickel. So Dr. Zyrus wrote this letter that has citations at the end, and you can give this to your doctor. Yeah, here's all the references. There's even more references now. Like, we wrote this several years ago. This will help them know this is not just like some health guru, person on the internet like confusing you. This is documented, supported, researched, and all of that. You can use this to help educate your doctor, because unfortunately we can't learn everything there is in the world in medical school, and this is not one of the things that you learn. So I know because I went to medical school, but let's see. Okay. So I would recommend that. And then document, take photos, and you can start the low nickel diet. This is the supported standard of care. Once it's diagnosed, eating a low nickel diet is what you need to do. There are creams to help reduce the inflammation and reduce the inflammatory response and immune response, but that doesn't address the core issue, right? So you want to reduce the amount of nickel that's getting through into your bloodstream and facing your immune system. And if you're able to do that consistently and long enough, your body will be like, you know what, we haven't seen that nickel in a while. I think we can reduce the amount of T cells running around and hanging out waiting for nickel to arrive, and you will have a lower amount of these T cells looking for the nickel, which means you'll be able to slowly increase or have nickel a little bit more than you normally would. And that has been true for me. I used to respond every time I would have something that was higher in nickel, and I would get rashes even over my whole body at the beginning. But now I can have chocolate once a week, I can have beans once a week, and those are high nickel foods, right? Hey, Allison, if you have been consuming high nickel foods without knowledge and come out in 3 areas of dermatitis and suffer itching and burning, can a low nickel diet reverse this? I've read systemic response can occur after brain injury. Okay, those are 2 good questions. So if you do have a systemic nickel allergy, and yeah, you can get eczema in other places, not just on your hands. Dr. Zyrus told me, and I think this was in his interview that I have on YouTube, that frequently he would see not just on the feet and the hands, but in like the flexor surfaces. So like this area, under the arms, around the mouth is a big one because it's like your mucosal layer where a lot of your immune cells are as well. The eyes, I had terrible eczema around my eyes, my nose, my mouth, my torso when I was really sensitive. And then also on my right hand, so bad that like it spread over time more and more until I couldn't even use this hand. Also, I have a patch on my back where I think I was initially sensitized to nickel from a belt, and that spot will flare even though no nickel has touched it. And that's because the type of immune cell that gets triggered by this is a memory cell, and so they will go to the area that they remember seeing nickel before, thinking that nickel's going to be there, and they need to respond, even if there actually is no nickel there. So that can happen. And then as far as systemic response can occur after brain injury, well, that's what happened to me. I didn't have this dyshydrotic eczema response until after I had a brain injury, and I started eating like a gut healing diet. It's called the GAPS diet that really helped my brain injury. But then I started having this dyshydrotic eczema really bad, and it's because a lot of these health promoting foods actually are high in nickel, like lentils and legumes that a lot of people do really well on, nuts, seeds, even like, chocolate can be really good for you. Cacao can be really good for you. These things are very high in nickel, and I think I was getting a high amount of nickel through this health promoting diet. And I think I was already sensitive. I know I had contact dermatitis to nickel since I was a kid. And I also had a lot of problems with IBS that my gastroenterologist wasn't able to figure out. So it's possible that I was already systemically responding to nickel. I just didn't know. And then after my brain injury, it got even worse. And the thing about brain injury, or this happens very frequently after people have a child or go through some type of trauma, when your body goes through trauma and cells are kind of ripped apart and their contents are emptied into the bloodstream. There's a lot of things inside your cells that your immune system doesn't know are you, if that makes any sense. And so the immune system can get kind of revved up from that and be more sensitive. And that's how autoimmune diseases can occur after trauma. It's the same sort of thing. So yeah, that's definitely possible. Thanks for those questions. I've been having high nickel foods post cardiac arrest and stroke, and this suddenly developed chronically. I had a nickel reaction for 26 years from jewelry. Yeah, so then it is more likely that that's what happened, is that now you've developed a systemic response instead of just on your skin. That's what happened to me. And that's really common. Now you can still develop a systemic response and not have like a derm response. So you can try to do the patch testing to see, and it may not respond there because you haven't developed that sensitivity on the skin yet. But it's way more common for people to have both the skin and like the gut response, or just the gut and no skin. Like it can be a mix of those things. I'm really sorry to hear that, Allison. I hope this can help you. But like when it comes to what I was saying earlier about like document, take photos, start eating a low nickel diet, try to keep it as low as possible. If you're having really high symptom burden, I would recommend trying to keep it below 50. What I personally did, since my symptom burden was really bad, like I was having trouble leaving the house because I was so like covered in rashes, that I ate a mostly almost carnivore diet for several weeks, just meat, because meat and animal products are the lowest in nickel. So try to do that, and then see is the level of symptoms like getting a little bit better? Because my cycles continued, they were just not as bad. And they continued for like 6 to 8 weeks, but then I could tell, okay, it's getting better. It's getting better. It was getting better and better and better. And then like the cycles got farther and farther apart until finally it was like a really tiny thing that would happen every couple of months to like once a year. And then now I think I may have seen a couple bubbles on my left hand a couple of months ago, and it was just like a little bit here, and I knew exactly what to do. And they never developed, so that's good. But you can keep your immune response low if you're able to like kill them off, and then just stay low nickel. And if you have something a little higher nickel, just use the tools that you develop by like things that I put in my book or things that are on my website or in the YouTube videos, and then just eat low nickel for like a week or two and stay really good, and you can keep things like low. You're really welcome, Allison. It's been both for you. Yeah, I think it's both for me too. Okay, so let's talk about, let's help Jared out, because I think Jared was the one that asked about snacks. So I was on a 2-hour bus ride, and this is when I went through the process of, okay, let's think about what you would want for a snack, maybe an on-the-go thing. We need to think about a couple of things. We need to think about, where can we buy the cookbook? If you go to thelownickeldiet.com, that's my website where the book is. You can get it on Amazon. So if you have like Amazon points or a gift card or something, you can go there. It's more expensive there because they take most of the money. But you can get a PDF or a ebook or a hardcover on my website for less money. Or you can go to Amazon, and it's at Amazon. I think it's also Barnes & Noble, other online retailers, even like Google, Apple Books, I think have it as well. But for the discount that, I don't know if you were here when I talked about the discount. If you put in this discount code on my website today, you'll get $12.99 off. So snacks. Okay, so thinking about what we want in a snack, something to help sustain us. You want protein. That's going to keep your blood sugar stable. It's going to give you energy. We definitely want to focus on protein. And then fat, that will also help keep our blood sugar stable and also help fuel the building of good immune cells and keeping our immune system regulated, as well as helping promote the growth and health of our hair, skin, and nails, and our gut lining. We need those things. And then also, yeah, Allison, if you're in the UK, you can get the ebook on my website. And I believe it's cheaper than it is on Amazon. If you want a physical copy, you can buy a paperback version from Amazon, and they like make it and send it to you. I think in the UK, I think that is available. You'll have to let me know. I'm not positive. And then we have carbs. So protein-wise, you can do like deli meat, deli sliced meat, but you got to be careful. You don't want it to be like highly processed meat. And cheese slices. You can do yogurt. For yogurt, I would do whole plain yogurt because it's the least processed. The more a food goes through processing, the more it will potentially get nickel from its environment, because it'll go through a lot of machinery that is made with stainless steel, which has nickel, which can be leached into the food. And so you don't want that. Oh, eggs. So like boiled eggs. I went ahead and I made some steak in my air fryer. So you could do like cold steak bites. Also, what else? Like cheese slices, cheese sticks. So like slices or sticks. And what other ideas did I have? I think that's good for protein. For fat, something I love are olives. So if it's a dark olive, it's more likely to have higher nickel in it. But if you have, like these are my favorite olives, and they are the lowest in nickel. And you want to get them in the glass, not in canned, because there can be nickel leached from the can. So you want glass. And so the Castelvetrano, I don't know how to say that. These types of olives, this is a superfood that's supposed to be helpful for longevity, has a good quality fats in it and good amount of energy. So I love to have like some slices of like what's going to come next, which is carbs. Like I like bell peppers or cucumbers or zucchinis. And have like slices of that, have some olives, have some cheese, and maybe a little bit of deli meat, and have that along with my broth as like a really great lunch. But all of those things are to go. So I put my broth in like a thermos, and then I can have that for lunch with these things. And they're, you can they'll keep all day. Also things like pickles. So I think I have, why don't I just show you what I got at the grocery store. I have not even unpacked it. So this is something I wouldn't say is the most healthful, but it's also not the worst. And it is some potato chips. Just make sure that there's no soy oil of any kind, soybean oil, because that is high in nickel, right? But if you really, really need some chips or something, and like I said, I don't think anything with gluten should be in your diet, especially at the beginning, because that will increase your intestinal permeability, allowing more nickel through. That's true for everyone. Not just celiac people, it's true for all humans. So we have that. We have cucumber, bell pepper, we have radishes, a green apple, we've got some eggs, I've got a lime, here's the pickles that I got. Got a lemon. I've got my yogurt. I got slices of cheddar and slices of turkey. And I got mayonnaise that has no soybean oil in it. So this has sunflower oil, egg yolk, water, vinegar, salt, cane sugar, lemon juice, citric acid, lemon oil. That's pretty clean. And then I also have some blueberries that I already had, just like the olives. So I also got cilantro and parsley. And the reason I did that is because one of the things that are nice about cilantro and parsley is that they help chelate nickel, which means they'll grab the nickel, attach to it, make it too big to come through your gut lining. And so it will help reduce the amount of nickel that gets into your bloodstream and you'll just poop it out. So those are really helpful. So Allison, you may be the only one here, but I was gonna let whoever was here decide what I make. So I'll tell you the things that I can make, and then we can go from there. So the egg we're not gonna be able to do, but you could boil some eggs. Those are easy on the go. I think a lot of people know about that. I've got the, for the meat and cheese rolls, we could do some meat and cheese rolls with a pickle spear, and then a little bit of some nice, what's it called? Like a dressing. So I was gonna make a dressing with a little bit of yogurt, some of those herbs, some lime, or maybe like some of this mayonnaise. Yeah, that's what I'll use. I'll use the mayonnaise, some of those herbs, the lime. We'll make a nice little dipping sauce so that you could have that with some of the vegetables or in your meat and cheese rolls. Or you can use it to dip your steak into. So we could make that. What else could we make? Oh, I could make, I think I talk about this in the book. Something that's very easy is I'll take some berries and I'll mash them with some allulose, which is a sweetener. That's actually a really good sweetener for you. It reduces your blood sugar. And then you can use that and you can put it in the whole plain yogurt, and it then has a nice flavor to it. If you don't want, I mean, plain yogurt doesn't taste like almost anything, right? So Allison, if you're still here, I'll give you a couple seconds and you can tell me what you want me to make. I'm not seeing any responses yet. Oh, there's Crystal. For the cheese and meat rolls. That sounds good. I haven't had breakfast yet. All right, do you want, let's see. Yeah, This is something that my partner and I make a lot for dinner because we're not usually that hungry at dinner time. This is one of his favorite things. Gonna wash my hands. Okay, so we've got that. Let's also see if I can open this pickle jar. Cheese and meat rolls, but cannot have mature cheese. I love onions and peppers, but react. Yep. Especially if you have some digestive response, it's helpful to not have nightshades for the time that you're working on healing your gut. Once your gut is in a good place, you might be able to have those things again without response. And especially if part of your picture, a big part of your picture is this systemic nickel allergy, because that's just going to increase the inflammation and the responsiveness and your gut lining being mad and your microbiome being imbalanced and all that. We went over that in the last week's live about the gut health component of this. And then the week before that, we talked about the immune cell response. So that may be helpful to like get excited about what's possible, right, in the future. Okay, so I'm pulling out a pickle because I'm gonna slice this kind of thin so that I can put a pickle in each one. Also, when it comes to cheese, I don't know what your reason is why you can't have more mature cheese, but let me know, because maybe I'll have an idea for you. Okay, so I'm gonna put some meat there. This is kind of thin. They did it a little bit thinner than I wanted. So we'll put a little bit more in there. And then we'll put pickle. And then you can either roll it at this point, or you could put a little bit of mayonnaise or a little bit of whatever like sauce or condiment you want. And then you've got this nice meat and cheese roll, right? And so what I did, like, or you could do like bell pepper or like cucumber or slice or zucchini slice, but you can put kind of like make little tacos of this. This is what I would do, and I would take it like to work or something. Do that. And you kind of like nestle them like this. And then I might put like some slices of vegetable and then maybe some olives here. And that's like a great lunch, right? Oh, for your blood thinners. Got it. Well, I'm not going to argue with your doctor. All right, so let me give this a shot. Could use some mayonnaise. my gosh, I opened another jar. So, I don't know about you guys, but because of all the damage that I got on my skin, I actually lost my my fingerprints. I also have like a thinner, like I'm more sensitive. So like holding something, you know, like opening those caps that are, like, what's the word? They're like textured around the edge. That literally hurts me to open. And sometimes I can't open things, not because I'm not strong, but because my skin is still hurting from like that level of tension on it. And I still have that. It's not as bad as before. Like over time, my skin is healing. But it's been a couple years now that I've had a lot of, like that I've had eczema there, and I'm still healing. So there is hope, but it can still take some time. All right, let's try it with this. Crystal's asking about dip. Oh, that's good. Yeah, dips. I do have several dips in my cookbook. And since we have a little bit of time, I think we should try to make a dip right now. But I'll show you that section in my book. So, it's near the back. Okay, so we have sauces, dips, and dressing. I've got a ranch dressing in here. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure you can see. And per serving, it's less than 1 microgram, which is awesome, of nickel. A lot of people's favorite is this chili lime crema sauce, and also the lemon cream sauce. My aunt and uncle like love it so much they make it every week. That's a good dipping sauce. There's an Italian dressing, a tartar sauce, barbecue, chimichurri. This is really good with the steak. Bjarn. Hey. Oh, there's a garlic aioli. That's good. Green goddess dressing. That's really good. And what's great about this is it has all of those herbs that help chelate nickel. So that's just an extra bonus. Tzatziki, hollandaise. We've got a cauliflower cream sauce. That's really good. Onion bacon, oh my gosh. This is one of the most decadent, amazing things in this whole cookbook. It's been years since I've made it. I should really make it soon. It's got bacon, shallots, garlic, honey, apple cider vinegar. Oh my gosh, it's so good. We should make that. I've got a no-mayo sauce for people who are nightshade free, and then like a simple tomato sauce. Yeah, so there's lots of good stuff in here. Let's free make a sauce. Okay, so we'll start with some of this mayo. How about that? I don't know. If you guys want like a list of all that stuff that I listed off before for snack advice, just email me at info@thelownickeldiet.com and I'll send a list to you. Okay, so we've got some mayo. Let's put some lemon and lime in there. All right. Oh, good. Bjarne's gonna try. I'm so glad you guys are here. Crystal, Allison, Bjarne's, anybody else that I'm missing? So we'll put in this lemon and lime juice. And then we'll cut some of this cilantro and parsley. And we'll probably put in a little dill, maybe? I don't know. We'll go crazy. Remember, I'm not a chef. I'm just a normal girl. Or what is the saying? I'm just a girl? I think that's a dumb saying. This is not the right knife to use for this. Where's my knife for this? Oh my gosh. Well, all right, let's put parsley in. And then let's get some cilantro. Bjarne, you bought a book, right? I sent it to you. So you should have it now or soon, I think. I think you bought it last week, right? Allison, honestly, it's inspirational. 1 week in and I already have noticed neurological improvements on my ability to undertake tasks better. Thank you so much for telling me that. I don't know if you know this, but I think I said earlier that I had a traumatic brain injury. And my ability to do a lot of things was gone. And I was so tired, I couldn't do anything. I could do like one thing a day and then I'd have to lay down for the rest of the day. And that went on for a very long time. I was not getting better. I was asking my doctors for help and they said, every brain injury is different. There's nothing really you can do. Just wait and see. And I didn't like that. So I started looking for help on my own, and that's when I found the GAPS diet, gut and psychology syndrome. So it was a diet that was focused on gut healing to help heal the brain. So, and I did start feeling better, but like I said, some of those things I think had higher nickel. And so then my improvement with my brain started going down again. And I think it was because of that, the inflammation started, systemic inflammation started up again. And also that type of inflammation that's caused by systemic nickel allergy does increase the permeability of the blood-brain barrier. So there's kind of a protective layer, if you will, that protects the brain from some of the things in the bloodstream. So things in the bloodstream can get everywhere in the body, but the brain has a little bit extra protection. But when you have systemic inflammation, like you do with this allergy, more things can get through and cause neural inflammation. And I think that was happening again to me. And so when I then kept it a gut healing diet, like the things that I learned with the GAPS diet, but low nickel version of that, and I started feeling better again. And I know what it is to feel like you're trapped with a brain that's not yours. It's not working the way that it was supposed to. It's the scariest thing, and nobody can understand it that hasn't been through it. And I'm so sorry that you're going through that. But I'm glad that it's getting a little better. Oh, good, you got the book to your sister in the US. Okay, awesome, great. If you need access to it earlier, I can send you a PDF version. I know that you bought it, so I'll send you a PDF version. Just email me at info@thelownickeldiet.com and I'll send it to you so you have it now. Okay? Okay, let's taste this now. Are you guys gonna be disgusted if I do it like this? Oh, we're gonna add some dill. I think we should add some dill. Okay. You could also add some chili type powder. Chili powder is going to have higher nickel, and it might be like, if you have IBS, I would not do that. But you could do that. All right, let's try this. That is better. More dill. But yeah, you could dip slices of the vegetables that we talked about in here. You could put it in your meat and cheese rolls like I just did. Or we can cut up some of this steak. Let's do that and dip it in there. I bet that'd be good. So Crystal, I think, said, I got my book in the mail too. Thanks for shipping it so fast. I made the roasted chicken, so delicious. Oh, I love that recipe. That sounds really good. And it's so easy. It's so easy. It's amazing. Like, I remember growing up thinking it looked so difficult and so fancy, but it's really not hard at all. I've only been following you 2 weeks and the rash on my face has already healed so much. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. I'm so glad to help. And thank you for telling me that. Definitely keep me updated on your journey. I was diagnosed 2013 with SNA, so systemic nickel allergy, after having bad eczema on my right hand for 4 years. After 2 months on nickel-free diet, my skin was regular. Awesome. And still today. But now I get hives and arthritis. Yeah, I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys. I have not had dyshidrotic eczema now in years, but I still have a little bit of IBS issues. And also I started to develop a little rosacea. Now it's a lot better now, but during medical school, when I was like not eating as well sometimes, or like really stressed, not sleeping as much, you know, all that kind of stuff, I started getting some rosacea. But yeah, I really wonder, I don't know, maybe we should do this together, but like, I've been thinking maybe I should go super low nickel again and see if any of these other little things are related and that maybe I need to lower my nickel a little bit more. So we could do like a whole, like let's start it from the beginning sort of thing together. But yeah, I'm sorry that things are not perfect. Anyway, definitely keep us in the loop on that. All right, so I'm gonna try this with the steak. You guys are just watching me eat my breakfast. Yeah, that's super good. That's what's nice about something like this. You can make this on Sunday. You know, we've got our broth going. We could prep, like cut the fruit, cut the vegetables, make a dipping sauce, and then you can use it for a couple of days or throughout, you know, the week. And it's basically like prepped for you. That's what I used to do. I would start the broth and I would meal prep for the week in that 3 hours. And then all my food would be done for a lot of the week. That's good. There's something about steak. It makes me feel like Superwoman. Like, I start eating it. It sounds really silly, but I can feel my body saying, yes, we need this, we need this. Maybe it's the iron, I don't know. But I do feel like revved up, powered up when I have beef. For sure. Okay, any last minute questions, comments, ideas you have for snacks that you have used? Because some of you already have experience with this. Like, are there snacks that you like to have that are low nickel? Let me wash my hands. All right, I'm gonna move this stuff out of the way. I just wanna remind everybody, if you weren't here before, you can get a big discount on the hardback on my website if you use this snacks, all uppercase, on the website. It's thelownickeldiet.com, and you'll get $12.99 off, and I'll ship it out to you tomorrow. But thank you so much for being here, you guys, and sharing your experiences and that things are getting better for you. That's really exciting. I went through several months of, rigmarole with my doctors trying to figure it out. And it was a lot longer than it needed to be of pain and suffering. So I'm hoping to raise awareness. I'm hoping to help people out who are not getting that help from their doctors, because unfortunately that awareness is not where it should be right now. So let's do what we can together. Bjorn is in on going on really low nickel. I think I have to do it. Yeah. Okay, so let's do this together. I can't do it yet because I'm about to get married. So there's all this food that I'm gonna be eating at my wedding, but that's on Valentine's Day. So I'm getting married, so it's very soon. It's 2 weeks from now. But the live after that, so not the 15th, but the 22nd of February, let's do like low nickel start. Like if we'll do a whole like how to do your initial like nickel detox, how to start to reduce your symptom burden as quickly as possible. So yeah, the 22nd of February, we're gonna do that. As far as, the website won't allow you to buy, I haven't figured out how to do that international shipping thing on my website yet. I'm really sorry about that, Allison. Will it not allow you to buy the ebook either? Or just the hardback? Yeah, Greek yogurt with blueberries as a snack is really good. Did anybody have a request for what you wanted to talk about next week? Because I got a request via email to focus on a mast cell activation syndrome and nickel allergy connection, which was what I was going to do unless there were like multiple people that wanted to do a different topic. Oh, thank you for congratulating me on my wedding. You want to do the low nickel detox too, Crystal? Okay. That's 3 people now. Allison, if you want to email me, I can try to figure it out for you to send it to the UK. I need to figure it out. I just haven't taken the time to figure it out. Thank you. Bjarn, am I saying your name right? Do you need me to say it differently? Bjarn Fjör, do you want me to say that? I would be happy to work on it. I could ask Google, I guess. I don't know if I'd trust Google to tell me. Yeah, so if you need help with international shipping, I will spend time today to figure it out. Just email me. Y'all deserve it for being here and being awesome. All right. Let me know. I am gonna go. Next week, we'll do mast cell activation syndrome and nickel allergy. So we'll do like a review of the immune stuff again, and hopefully I'll be more organized with it and quick about it in the beginning so we can focus on mast cell activation, maybe a little bit of histamine intolerance talk, because that's related. And so I'll work on gathering all the most recent research this week so that we can review it together. It's okay to call you Batty? All right. Batty. All right. Batty is your nickname. Okay, cool. So we got Batty, Crystal, and maybe Allison will want to do the low nickel detox with us. Anybody else who wants to shoot me an email, I'll put you on the list, and so that I can remind you when we get started. I'm sorry I can't start right away, but I want to do it for real with you guys. And I also want to think about exactly like how I would advise people to start. I do write about it in my book. I've always thought about, since writing that book, I've thought about maybe writing another book, like a shorter book that's all about just the detox phase, the early phase. So this might be a good like trial run for us on that. You're welcome, Batty. All right, you guys have a great rest of your Sunday, or maybe it's already Monday for you. But I will see you guys later next week. And if you have any questions in the meantime, just shoot me an email, info@thelow-nickel-diet.com. I'll see you guys later. Bye.